Beach Week is ongoing here at Angel Stadium. The beach towel giveaway here tonight is ABTV, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, comes from the Big A tonight. The finale of this three-game series between the Los Angeles Angels and the Houston Astros. Alongside Mark Gubas, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, the Angels trying to get one here against the Astros. They've also made a trade, which we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, they pitched really well, really, the first couple of games. Hopefully a couple hits here and there, and just continue to pitch well and hold a lead late.
Now, the Angels have dealt Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth to the Texas Rangers. They've gotten back a single-A infielder by the name of Angel Arredondo from the Rangers, but a couple of guys that go to a division rival. And for O'Hoppe, and I guess Silseth, too, it's a change of scenery.
Yeah, Wayne, I mean, building relationship with these guys we have over the years, even being in uniform the last 3 spring trainings, being around O'Hoppe and being a friend with him. Same thing with Silseth, who's thrown the ball really, really well this year. When you look at his numbers, an ERA under 3. Logan O'Hoppe, I think, needs this little change of scenery right now to be able to develop a catcher everyone thought he would be.
And the Rangers get that arm in the bullpen that the team in first place right now needs in Chase Silseth. Well, the Angels still have some arms around as well in their starting rotation that have pitched well in this series against the Astros, albeit unable to get a win in this series. But that's not because of the efforts of Robert Urania and Reed Detmers.
Yeah, Urania and Detmers is throwing the ball exceptionally well in this series. When you look at it, 11 innings pitched, 3 earned runs allowed combined by the two of them, with also 14 strikeouts. Urania was so good that first time in against the Astros here. This 1 earned run, 2 hits allowed with 5 strikeouts. Still touching well over 100 with fastball after fastball. His sweeper was good. His changeup was solid. I love the way he goes out there and compete. You know he's always ready to go out there and go with his best stuff. And then Reed Detmers last night, 9 punch outs in 5 innings. He only allowed 2 hits. Just a couple really mistakes he made. That was about the whole game. Just 2 mistakes he made. The one to Yordan Alvarez, which a lot of people have done so, and that slider stayed upstairs to Walker. Other than that, he was dominant again. I'd love to see what he's doing on the mound, especially with his curveball yesterday.
Well, Kurt Suzuki talking about what the starters have given the Angels so far in this series. Our Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card Active Mike.
I think that sets the tone of the game, right? The pitcher's attacking the zone, throwing strike, keeps the defense on their toes, and just the flow of the game, right? The pace of the game. I think everything just kind of plays up, and, you're playing baseball. So, the way they came out, they set the tone. The last 2 nights I thought was awesome.
How about the way they attacked some of the big hitters in the lineup, too, early on?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a tougher lineup to navigate. They got some big boys in there that can hit, So, I thought they did a really good job of navigating that, executing pitches when they needed to. So, everything was definitely a positive.
Kurt Suzuki talking about what the starters have done. Grayson Rodriguez will get a chance to keep that going here today. Of course, they'll have to deal with Yordan Alvarez, the MVP candidate in the middle of the order.
Yeah, and when you think about Yordan Alvarez, when you're throwing fastballs, Grayson has had a good fastball as far as velocity, but some of those fastballs have stayed over the plate. You do not want to throw a fastball in the strike zone to Yordan Alvarez. I don't care if you're throwing 100+ miles an hour. He is on one of those rolls right now. He's got a chance at a triple crown. It looks like he's easily going to walk through and be the AL MVP. And look how he was able to jump out on a good fastball. Reed Detmers there on the inside part of the plate. You got to make him chase out of the strike zone. Stay soft. When you're hot like this, you want to swing the bat, Wayne, so I think they have a chance to be able to get him to swing pitches out of the strike zone. Do not at any point give him a fastball in the zone.
Well, Alvarez had the go-ahead hit yesterday. The Astros winning both of the games so far in this series by scoring in the 9th inning. Angels will try to get one against the Astros and avoid a sweep here tonight.
Drive bust.
Angels baseball on ABTV, brought to you by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right, they almost feel wrong. Only your local SoCal Hyundai dealer. By Jack in the Box, Jack's new Philly-style bonus Jack combo. Shaved steak, grilled onions and peppers, and melty cheese, starting at $5.99. And by the OC Healthcare Agency, your mental wellness resource. Beautiful night for baseball here at Angel Stadium as we bring you inside the Big A for the finale of this 3-game series between the Angels and the Astros. And, well, finding out in really real time here about a trade. This is how things go this time of the year. There's hug watch, of course, throughout minor league baseball and in the big leagues as well. And guys are finding out as they're stretching to get ready for the game here tonight. Wade Meckler found out just about the same time we did that Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth have been traded. Astonished.
That is unreal, because had a long conversation with Logan O'Hoppe today. Same thing with Silseth, and all of a sudden you look up now, they're both now with the Texas Rangers. It's always tough. I mean, whether you're the guy being traded or one of your teammates being traded, you build those relationships. You're around them, the guys, probably more than your family when you think about it, from February all the way through the end of the season, and hopefully sometime soon through the end of October.
Well, also in regard to that, it's likely that this isn't the only trade either, that there are going to be others, and the possibility of maybe one more, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more, that other guys that you know and spend all this time with are also going to be moved. This might be just the first of a few or many.
Wayne, you're exactly correct on that one too, because it's there's a lot of conversations going on, but wishing those guys the very best. They're both really, really good guys, Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth.
There's Grayson Rodriguez pitching to Tyler Heineman behind the plate tonight.
And Grayson, he's from the Houston area. You'd love to see him to go out there and attack and be consistent with his fastball and commanding his fastball. My go-tos for him to have a solid game tonight is shadows with his fastball. We know he can touch 98, but staying on those shadows makes everything better for him. But continue that slider improvement. I felt that last game against the Giants, as good as a slider, that team was from the time I saw him in Baltimore. He's got 6 punchies with his slider so far this season.
To wonder this trade as it goes down here, as we see the Astros lineup with Pena, Alvarez, Paredes, Walker, Altuve, their stars 1 through 5 in the Houston order. Are the Angels playing this game with one catcher tonight? Tyler Heineman is behind the plate. O'Hoppe's been traded to Texas. We know Travis d'Arnaud was supposed to play at Rancho tonight. He is not. He has been activated, so d'Arnaud is on the roster. So the Angels are playing with both of
there he is, right there.
Possible 2 catchers. And welcome back to Travis d'Arnaud.
They were trying to, even earlier today, Kurt Suzuki was saying they're trying to get 9 innings out of him today in Rancho Cucamonga. That's why it's always important to have a minor league team close by your big league stadium.
Yeah, well,
it helps out a ton.
They just moved those guys to Rancho the other day, so they're exactly right. It did help in that regard. The Angels could get that second catcher here, and d'Arnaud can back up Heineman. So we're underway, albeit with a bit of a flutter, as the Angels make their first move. Logan O'Hoppe going to the Texas Rangers along with Chase Silseth, and minor league infielder Angel Arredondo has been dealt to the Angels from the Rangers. A 19-year-old Arredondo, not exactly on the top prospect lists, but someone who is coming over from the Rangers to the Angels. We can ask John Mozeliak more about that as we go. We're expecting to hear from Mozeliak in the second inning tonight.
I mean, if you're Texas too, with the way Silseth has thrown the baseball, especially when you think about the innings pitched and strikeouts, it's a good pickup for the Rangers too.
That definitely is. 2 balls and a strike, and Pena, it's a bouncer foul.
That's this time of the year where moves. Usually, we've been seeing the Angels have not done a lot at this time of the year, maybe adding on players. So it's a different atmosphere for a lot of these guys, not knowing what to expect. It's a difficult time because we always say family. I mean, you got to deal with your own family too when you move in the middle of a season like this.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count here on Pena leading off. A 10-game hitting streak for Pena, who had 1 hit yesterday, but also 4 strikeouts in the game.
This is really that first inning too for Grayson Rodriguez is so important, especially with these guys coming up here in the first inning and going against them, just to build some confidence.
Pena late as he fouls one off. The Rangers have been dealing with injuries with regard to their catchers. Kyle Higashioka was just put on the IL last week. Danny Jansen's been out, so that's why they needed a catcher, and that makes O'Hoppe something that they were looking to at least add to their catching core there. As Pena strikes out again.
There's that good slider. I love that depth on the slider. The defense behind Grayson Rodriguez. Today you got Josh Lowe out in center field. 1 defensive run saved so far this season, 1 assist. Much better and more comfortable it seems to be in center field. You got Joe Adell, Meckler on the left side there in left center. So it's good to have Josh. Josh made an incredible play the other day in left field. Guzman, Neto, Grissom, Sionuel, and then Heineman behind the plate.
It's the 7th time that Jeremy Pena struck out in this series. Now away but a miss by the big man Yordan Alvarez, who chased a 97-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. Last night, Alvarez had the go-ahead hit. He also hit a home run in the game last night. A curveball drops in to make it 0-2.
So 2 solid secondary breaking balls so far today. I know it's early, but it's good to see that feel for Grayson Rodriguez.
Really incredible performance by Reed Detmers yesterday, striking out 9 with the backdrop of the trade deadline. As Alvarez smacks one to left center. It's Josh Lowe out there tonight sizing that one up.
Well, you get highlighted on your defense. You got to make a play right away.
And he did. That ball was hit pretty hard.
Yes.
2 outs.
110.5 off the bat. That'll get you a nice little wake-up call out in center field. It's just an out. He hits everything extremely hard. Wow.
Folks were remarking last night how loud the ball sounded coming off his bat when he hit that home run off of Detmers. It's a different sound. It's a different look with Yordan Alvarez in his MVP form right now as Isaac Paredes looks at a strike. A lot of questions asked to Kurt Suzuki after the game yesterday about walking Alvarez or not in that 9th inning. Alvarez had the go-ahead hit. And he rightfully said that Isaac Paredes is no slouch, which he is not. But he's not a Triple Crown candidate. He's not the leading MVP candidate. And I would think you'd want anyone but Alvarez to beat you right now.
Paredes had some really good at-bats so far and some long at-bats, but he's not Yordan Alvarez. You know, when you go out there and you think, don't give him anything good to hit, but your mindset always has to be, if I'm going to be given an opportunity to pitch to Yordan Alvarez, I'm going to get him out with non-strikes, and I'm never throwing anything in the zone.
The ball fouled away by Paredes. No balls and 2 strikes. Paredes has had a nice year, 14 home runs. He's driven in 58.
Like that changeup, because that fastball, the one before, he got away with that. It was right down the heart of the plate. Now with the fastball, it's going to be a separation about 13, 14 miles per hour. He's got a shot. He'll paint a corner or finish him off with a slider.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count here on Paredes as the Angels try to get through this first inning without an issue. Paredes fouls another one back.
In that game in San Francisco, he gave up a lot of foul balls. Grayson Rodriguez. The key is to be able to finish, get to this point, finish him off. ASAP.
That's the plan. As Rodriguez looks to get off to a good start here tonight. Retired Pena with a strikeout. Alvarez lined out. Now Paredes dumps one foul to stay alive. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. An Astros fan in the front row up here.
Ooh.
Dropped the ball. Dropped it into the deck below. There he is. That's a tough one to swallow. Right in his hands. Up and in as Paredes has to duck out of the way there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grayson Rodriguez, as we've discussed, still very firm on that fastball. 97 on the last one. That hasn't been the issue. I'm not sure what the issue really is. I guess just location within the strike zone has been his biggest problem. Too many hittable pitches, including that one as Paredes dumps it into right.
Yeah, that was a 4-seam fastball. So when you go back to the 0-2 pitch, this pitch right here, you're ahead of the count, or at least even with the count, fastball right down the heart of the plate. Even though it's 97, it's still hittable in the zone. And anytime you're coming back, you haven't pitched in a while, and that's the case with Grayson. You know, you feel good about your velocity, but still the most important thing is making sure you're hitting the corners and shadows with that fastball.
Opponents have hit .323 against Rodriguez so far this year entering tonight. Christian Walker is at the plate now with 2 outs as he takes ball 1. Rodriguez, this is his 4th straight start. You know, Mike Maddox has talked about the inconsistencies for Rodriguez. He's been kind of in and out. So having just a plethora of starts here to the finish line would be beneficial to him. And this is his 4th in a row since he last came off the injured list.
And finishing off an inning, building confidence. And after that long at bat, in which it looked like he had Paredes where he wanted him. A couple of mistakes with his fastball, especially that last one. Now 2-0 to a guy that's got a lot of power himself, and Christian Walker.
Ball 3. Walker hit a home run last night as well. He's at 21 on the year. The Astros, after the first 2 are retired, have a man on, and Walker in a favorable count. 3 balls, no strikes. That's right in there from Rodriguez, and again 97 on the gun.
He's very good on pitches on the inner half of the plate.
It's upstairs, so Walker draws a walk, and the Astros with back-to-back base runners here with 2 outs. Reyes goes to second base, and now the Astros have Altuve. Jose Altuve hears it from the fans here at the Big A. Say on the video board, he's the longest tenured Astro, that's for sure. He goes back to when the Astros were still in the National League. Oversaw their transition to the AL, and they've won a few pennants along the way as well. World Series a couple of times too. As the strike in there to Altuve makes it 1-1.
Good slide. He's challenging that one. I think he's going to be correct on that one also.
Astros challenge is powered by T-Mobile. Altuve was correct.
Pitches the ball. You have 2 counters remaining.
Count 2 balls and no strikes.
And already a big pitch here now for Grayson after getting 2 outs fairly quickly.
2 balls, no strikes here on Altuve. The breaking ball lands for strike 1. Rodriguez, in his past starts against the Astros, has an ERA over 6. So they pitched well against them a couple of times as an Oriole. Struggled the last time he faced them with the Angels. Gave up 3 runs in 5 1/3 innings. There's a strike.
I love that arm action on his changeup there, Wayne. That was really, really good.
This Rodriguez is a Houston native. Houston area native at that, so going to face his hometown team here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Altuve. His time is called. I'm expecting to hear from the Angels general manager, interim GM John Mozeliak, in the bottom of the first. So stay tuned for that as we will discuss the trade and whatever else might be in the works. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Altuve. A slow bouncer towards Zach Neto at short. Has to charge, has to throw it on the run, and he gets Altuve to end the inning. We'll hear from John Mozeliak in just a moment.
Gummies for daily gut support.
Astros didn't score in the top of the first, and Angels come to bat in the home half, and as they do so, we will have a chance to talk to the interim GM of the Angels, John Mozeliak. A trade made today. Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth go to the Rangers. So how do these things kind of come about, and what made that an appeasable deal for you?
Yeah, so obviously the last 48 hours, things are starting to pick up a lot in sort of the trade world right now. Monday's the trade deadline, so a lot's going to happen between now and then. Clearly for us, we are just looking to make some changes, some positive changes for the Angels. And, clearly where we are right now is not where this team needs to be or wants to be. And as we were starting to look at what this roster was going to look like as we got into August, we knew we were going to have to do things a little differently. Catching has been, I think, a challenge for us in terms of like how we were going about it. Obviously, when you have a manager who's an ex-catcher, he has a real good feel for what he wants that to look like. And then on top of that, as we really look to how we want this to look like in the future, we're going to have to get some young talent into this system so that you get to that point where you do have that perpetual success over time.
Yeah, you have those tough decisions to make because you have some guys that have been around here for a little bit of time, but there hasn't been a lot of winning at this point. So that's why you got to make those tough decisions.
They are difficult, but in the end, we know what's best for this franchise, and so we have to do what's right. And I think the bigger question for all of us when we go through all these different trade options and how we're thinking through things is just really just to remain disciplined to the process we're creating. And the team I'm working with, I think they're very bright. They understand what they need to do, and I'm very excited about what we're capable of doing. And I think you look at this past draft, and that's a great example of leveraging your tools and making the most of it. And so that's how we're going to treat this deadline.
One of the first things I said to him when you were brought in, you were with the Cardinals. You had Yadier Molina forever. How do you find the right kind of catcher that you can have lead your team moving forward?
Yeah, obviously we were very lucky to have him. But even prior to him, we had Mike Matheny, Pagnazzi. I mean, we always had guys that sort of understood that role. And I think about catching.
And there's Mike Trout with a fly ball to shallow left. As that falls in, a base hit. Neto trying for third base. He'll make it, and Trout trails to second safely.
That's the kind of baseball you want to see right there, that hustle by Mike Trout every single time out there.
That much we know he gives you.
Yes.
I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So as you think about, catching, there's sort of two ways you can think about catching. One is, are they a defensive catcher, catch and throw type of guy, or are they someone that brings a little bit of thump to the plate? But for us, we always valued the catching side, especially when you think about being able to help navigate a young pitching staff through difficult times. And I think that was a little bit of the challenge here. We have younger pitchers that are trying to understand what they're good at, when they should use their pitches. And so ultimately, I think trying to find that type of catcher that has that skill set is going to be something that we value moving forward.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that one, Mo, because as a pitcher, having that relationships with your catchers and knowing, I don't even have to think out there. With my catcher behind the plate, where he's setting up, how he's setting up hitters, how you're setting up a guy like Yordan Alvarez in a game. That is so important, not the guessing game. You think it's the right pitch or not? So I think like you said, going forward, you want to have those kind of continuity between your pitching staff and your catchers.
You talk to pitchers, and they always say they want that catcher to be their advocate. And if you have that, you're usually at a pretty good starting point.
We've talked about it here in the booth, but you have a couple of guys, or a few guys, that have 2-3 years of team control still left that have had their names bandied about. How do you go about finding the right kind of value for players that have a lot of control still to be worth it to make a trade, or then to say, well, maybe it's not worth it and we back off? How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's the challenge, really. I think you can use past precedent in terms of looking at past deals that have happened in the league to have a better understanding of the value system of it. But you also have to have your own internal model on how you're actually weighing.
There's Grissom smacking one to left. That'll bring home a pair. Neto and Trout come in. Vaughn Grissom, a 2-run double and 2 more RBIs to give the Angels an early lead.
Boy, he's done a lot of good things, especially over this last month of driving the baseball, being in those clutch moments, and good hard contact there too.
Yeah, like that.
Yes. Good sound. You're bringing some good sound here so far.
So as we think about these types of things, as we think about these deals moving forward, I think the strength of how we can really utilize our time over the next 4 to 5 days is understanding that we do not have to make a bad deal. Because as you point out, these players are under control. So if we don't feel we're getting a fair return in a deal, we don't have to do it. We can table that to the offseason. And that is our leverage.
Yeah, I remember talking with John Sherrills, who's now in the Hall of Fame for all those years, and he would always say, if you hear your name in every rumor, that means there's a good chance you're not going. So when you don't hear your name in there, that's what's about. Like today, I was like, this is pretty shocking how this came about. How quickly was this to come about today for you to make this deal?
This has been something that's been in the works for a few days, going back and forth on different names. Part of it, sometimes these things start out as 1-for-1, then they expand a little bit, and some prospects get taken out, some get put back in. We were pretty laser focused on what we thought this should look like, so to be able to get it done, the group downstairs is very excited about it. They think this is a positive step in what we're trying to accomplish, and obviously I agree, because that's why we did it.
Yep. When you consider how many teams are still bunched together, and whether they're in the playoff race, whether they're serious contenders, even if they are in the race, what kind of frenzy in terms of the phone calls and who's buying and who's selling do you expect here in the next few days?
Well, I'd say over as I mentioned earlier, probably this past weekend when we were in San Francisco, my phone was blowing up quite a bit, but it was mostly more of just sort of introductory conversations on what are we thinking? Because I think a lot of people weren't sure what the Angels may or may not do. And I can't broadcast exactly what we're thinking right here and now, but we have to be open-minded because we know what our goal is, and that's to put this franchise in a winning position moving forward.
Yeah, there's so many teams that feel they have a shot at the postseason. So it's teams that you think on the fringe of making moves, but there's a core group of teams that maybe have some players that everyone wants. So that's why you're getting all those phone calls, huh?
Well, I think what makes us so unique is a lot of the type of talent we have has more years of control than just a rental. And I think that's what...
The bouncer over the infield, and Joe Adell with the infield drawn in. Just chops it over the head of Pena to bring home Grissom. The Angels have 3 in the first.
Contact made. Contact made. Yes, you are. You're not going nowhere. No, you're sticking around.
How do you expect the players to take the news today, especially as it happens right before the game starts?
Timing of these things is difficult, and I'll back up and say, like, one of my least favorite things about being a general manager is trading players. Because now, obviously, I've only been here a month, but like in a typical sense, you get to know the player, and there's a relationship. And it's just tough when you're telling somebody that they're being moved. It's not like you're firing them, but it's still probably a feeling that you don't really want to hear. Now, some players are just excited to go somewhere new and try something different. I think in the case of the 2 players we met with today, there was some emotion on that, and I can understand that. I have empathy for that, and that's why it's not always a fun conversation to have.
Yeah, that's always the most difficult thing, to seeing teammates, guys. We mentioned it; they're family members basically. They'd be around together all the time, and when you think about coming up in these next 5 days, look, if you're able to pull off some deals, what do you think is going to be the most important thing for you going forward as far as bringing back that winning culture and how to be able to do that? And I know the fans are thinking in a timely basis.
No, and that's a fair question and a fair point. So I'll let you call the base hit.
That's a base hit.
But as we think about like timing and how we're like looking at it, it's I think once you get that strong foundation, then it allows you to do other things to then propel your major league club. So in the short view right now is we just have to really make some smart trades. If we don't find those smart trades, then we have to be willing to hold. But we are in the mode of thinking about being transactional, and that's our mindset going into these next 5 days, and that's how we'll approach it.
What can you tell us as Guzman hits a ground ball to short? Pena with the backhand over to second one, and the Astros turn 2. Well, John Mozeliak, thank you very much for stopping by, and well, congratulations on getting one deal done. We'll see what happens moving forward.
All right, thanks guys.
John, and thanks for getting those runs too.
Backed by 100.
Welcome back to the Big A. As you just heard, the Angels making their first trade ahead of Monday's trade deadline, sending Chase Silseth and Logan O'Hoppe to the Texas Rangers. Reed Detmers, who turned in another solid outing on the mound last night, very aware that last night could have been his last start as a Halo as he addressed the upcoming trade deadline after last night's game. Here's what Reed had to say.
Yeah, I mean, you see all the stuff. It's impossible to go on social media and not see it. It is what it is. I know my job is to go out every 5 days and give it my all and give the team the best chance to win. And so that's where my head is. Whatever they decide to do, that's what it is. And there's not a whole lot I can control on that side. The only thing I can control is what I do every 5 days.
Guys, followed up with Reed this afternoon ahead of tonight's game. He said he guesses that since there is a good chance he does get traded this year, it makes it a little bit different from trade deadlines in the past. His name's always been out there, but really never expected to go anywhere in years past. But he said not knowing where I'll be next week, it's kind of a weird feeling. Doesn't change anything from what I do in here. So many rumors right now, hard to keep up. He doesn't want to know, and he's not asking.
Yeah, that's all you could do really is keep going to that next level. And you're seeing that for Reed Detmers. Back as a starter. I mean, we talked about it before. He threw a no-hitter as a starter, immaculate inning, then struggled. And then he was dominant out of the bullpen, found out how to be aggressive and throw strikes, and you're seeing that. You look at this strikeout to walk ratio, it's fantastic.
Diving stop by Grissom, and from the outfield grass throws out Taylor Trammell. Nicely done.
So far, so good. As far as the way this team is playing, let's take a look at our All-State good hands right there on Grissom. showing some range. That outfield grass up quickly. Carmelo runs well, able to get him out by half a step. Pretty good distance to go, but the Presidents might get up as quick as possible on the transfer and make a firm throw.
Very good throw by Grissom. Now Yainer Diaz batting for the first time in this series.
And Wayne, one thing about when you make a deal like that right at the start of a game, you know, as a player, there's kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call too. You know, you just kind of go, oh, let's get going. I want to start performing. I want to be here. I want to be here when it turns around.
Now Yainer Diaz turns that one around, and well, the Astros former starting catcher has been relegated to kind of a backup role behind Christian Vasquez. Sent one out. It's his 7th home run, and Houston gets on the board.
And he's hit the halos really, really well throughout the years. 293 hitter with now 5 home runs. That was a changeup down too. He's always, you know, there's a number of guys that are pretty aggressive in this lineup here, and that was right down the heart of the plate.
Obviously, not everybody's in the same situation from a trade standpoint, but you know, for the guys who are, what kind of message is sent now that this might get serious around?
Yeah, I mean, not that you're comfortable, nor should you be comfortable when you're not playing real well as a team, but there is that feeling. Another challenge, ABS challenge here.
This is Cam Smith challenging the last pitch. That's still a strike.
But you're a player now. You're thinking, hey, my mindset, my focus, my work ethic, everything in between games, at bats, pitches, I got to be laser focused because you know what? It could be me next. And it's not a good feeling when your name is out there or when you're moved. It's tough. It's tough on you and your family. So, yes, that is kind of a wake-up call for everybody here now.
A ball, 1 strike on Smith. Angels with 3 runs in the bottom of the first against Hayden Wesneski, making his first start at the major league level this year. Tommy John surgery last May. This is his first start back, and the Angels hit him pretty hard in the bottom of the first. Houston gets 1 back so far in this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Smith. Well, Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth both gone now with the Texas Rangers. Really for Logan O'Hoppe, who was in that deal for Brandon Marsh a few years back. And when he first got to the big leagues, and we saw his raw power at 14 home runs in short order in 2023, working around a shoulder injury. And then a couple of years ago as well, flirted with being on the All-Star team. To make the case that he maybe should have been an All-Star that year. And then the first 2 months of last season, things were going well for O'Hoppe. Somehow, some way here, this thing fell off entirely for him. You know, the defense was suspect, and then the offense went away as well.
And you could tell, fan favorite, all the number of O'Hoppe jerseys we've seen throughout the years here at the Big A, even on the road. I think in the end, this is a trade that's going to help both teams out.
This is Smith chopping 1 foul. You go back to June 1st of last year, O'Hoppe hit just 193. He had an on-base percentage of .250, which was the worst in the majors, an OPS of .531, which was the worst in the majors, and only hit 9 home runs. Somehow his offense just completely disappeared. And Smith fouls one over toward us, just over our heads. If it weren't for that awning, that'll landed right in your lap.
I got a shot at that one.
3 balls and 2 strikes the count.
Again, these guys are friends of ours too. That's the thing that makes it tough. Tough part of this business.
Well, the business for the Angels is about the future and making this a better business of baseball here. That this team can start to once again be in the playoff setting, be in the mix in the AL West and the wild card, what have you. We'll count on Smith. A bouncer foul, but that's the goal here is to make a better future.
Yeah, exactly. And they start bringing back that winning culture. It's already a couple batters in this game for Grayson Rodriguez. A long at bat, Paredes, and now this long at bat coming up with his 11th pitch coming up.
Rodriguez trying to put Smith away, and he finally does with a good changeup. Strikeout for Rodriguez, his 2nd tonight.
Solid arm action on that one. You know, he turns that one over. Great view of that.
And that interesting grip that he has on that pitch as well.
that Falcon grip there too. You'll see different with a changeup, Wayne. It's a matter of how comfortable you are holding. There's so many different grips for a changeup, and it's all about playing catch on flat ground, taking that to the bullpen mound, and then eventually bringing it in the game. The circle change, the split finger changeup, spreading your fingers, the middle fingers too.
The ball's 2 strikes on Spence. Lucas Spence signed as an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago. You often see those guys get to the major leagues. And still with a 20-round draft, you might see more of that, but unusual to say the least. As Spence is down on strikes, and Rodriguez able to bounce back after that home run to post back-to-back strikeouts. Astros get on the board. The Angels still have the lead. Auto Center in a busy first inning for the Angels. 3 runs on 4 hits. Mike Trout had a double. Vaughn Grissom a 2-run double. Joe Adell drove him home, and the Angels put up a 3 spot against Hayden Wesneski in the first.
Yeah, a lot of traffic there in the first inning for the Halos, and scoring some runs. Here's tonight's Hyundai key for the game today. Going the Ramones today. Rockaway Beach. Right away, they were rocking the baseball right away in the first inning. Got to continue to add on though against this Astro club.
Josh Lowe is at the plate looking at a strike. Wesneski had Tommy John surgery last May and has finally got himself back in the big leagues. Ronel Blanco for the Astros also had Tommy John surgery. The two were kind of rehabbing together and both recently returning. Blanco a couple of weeks ago. Now Wesneski is back. Christian Javier back as well. So the Astros pitchers, Hunter Brown was out for a while. He's returned.
They've used 15 different starting pitchers this year. 15. And here they are in the conversation in the AL West and the wild card race.
Well, you just get to 500, you're in that conversation. Houston's still a game under. They played a lot better over the last 6 weeks or so. They were 20-31 to start the year. They're 34-24 since then. So things have improved. Their pitching is healthier. And the Astros trying to sweep this series against the Angels before they go play the Rangers this weekend, which ends up being a battle for first in the AL West. 3-2 on Lowe. The Rangers lost today, but they still hold serve in the division with a record of 55-53. Lowe turns on that, hits it a long way, but foul.
Well, the interesting thing, though, with Seattle in the division, that was the first win at Dodger Stadium since 2009 last night, and it almost didn't happen.
Mariners still are a couple of games under 500, playing against the Dodgers again tonight. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes on Lowe. Astros have used the most starting pitchers of any team in the majors this year, but as we said, they're right there in this division that nobody wants to win. A's have fallen way back. The Angels are 6-15 so far in the month of July. But Josh Lowe has a leadoff walk, and the Angels trying to keep it.
He's had some good at bats, some long at bats over the last couple of weeks, really. I even talked to him today about that hustle he had the other day against Altuve on that throw to the first base. Stole the bag. You wonder if he's thinking about stealing the bag again. He's 4 for 4 so far this season. Diaz has thrown out 21% of base stealers. It's a long throwing motion.
There's a bunt from Heineman. That'll move the runner over as Wesneski flips for the out. And Heineman with the sacrifice bunt moves Josh Lowe into scoring position.
Done a nice job a couple different times when asked to square around and bunt, sack bunt. Done a nice job. The sweeper too went down and just punched it. Gets the runner over. Snetsky did a nice job of fielding his position on that. It's one of those tough ones.
Both starting pitchers here today are from the Houston area. Wisniewski's from Houston as well. Went to Cy-Fair High School in the Houston area. Also went to Sam Houston State, where our buddy Steve Sparks went to college.
Former Halo.
Steve Sparks working the game on Astros radio with Robert Ford. 2 balls, no strikes on Neto as he laid off there. Neto had a walk to start the game against Wisniewski and came around to score on the 2-run double by Vaughn Grissom.
Wisniewski's best pitch really is his sweeper. And that was the sweeper there. Brings that glove way up high, almost like Clayton Kershaw-like, but it's a little bit quicker than Clayton Kershaw would do out of the stretch.
Wisniewski, 27 years old. He was originally drafted by the Yankees. Ended up in the Cubs system and then traded to Houston. The breaking ball gets over. He was in that same deal that Cam Smith came over in when the Astros dealt Kyle Tucker to the Cubs last year. 2 balls and a strike on Neto as time is called. There is that trade. Isaac Paredes in that deal as well. Swing and a miss. That pitch ran down and in. But you look at that trade, and albeit it was an off-season trade, not a mid-season deal like what we're seeing now and will see for the next few days. The Astros got some talent for 1 year of Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're talking about with team control. The Cubs got 1 year of Kyle Tucker, and they had to give up Paredes, who's now the everyday third baseman. Wisniewski, who's in and out of the rotation, at least for the Astros, a guy that can get some innings out of. And Cam Smith, a first-round pick, and a guy who's played every day in right field for them.
And a really good young talent. By the way, that's the second disengagement. You can go here now if you want, if Josh Lowe.
He's got a huge lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Neto chases after that for strike 3. It's the first strikeout for Wisniewski. That's how you rebuild and retool and get your team to be better. You give up a guy like Tucker, and you give up that last year of him, and you get players who can fill in all around.
And it is difficult if you're, the Astros, you trade a guy that's been such a big part of your winning over the years, including a World Series with Kyle Tucker, but you're also moving forward, and you got some pretty good pieces together.
That's what we could see more of here potentially in the next handful of days. The trade deadline is Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And, sounds like a lot of deals will be made all around the league between now and then, but I've seen a couple happen. No balls and a strike on Trout, but a base hit and a run scored in the first inning. Looped double down the left field side. Well, the trade the Red Sox made to get Curtis Mead from Washington for Connolly early, and then Mead goes and breaks his hand in his first game with the Red Sox. Doesn't always work out the way you think. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Trout.
There's been some incredible trades, the trade deadline to really get the teams over the hump. But there's also been some that kind of backfires a little bit. Remember, John Smoltz was traded for Doyle Alexander. John Smoltz ended up being a Hall of Famer, but Doyle Alexander was really good during that little time he was made in the trade with Detroit, though. I think he was 9-0.
We could sit here and talk about deals like that forever. Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Trout. That's all twisted up for strike 3 as Wisniewski gets back-to-back Ks to Strand low at second. SpongeBob Angels jersey, angels.com/promotions.
I'll be wearing my square pants that day.
I hope so. Here's a line drive to left center from Pena, hit well, and that ball is gone over to the California Spectacular. A little less so when the opponent hits one over there, as Jeremy Pena just did to make it a 3-2 game.
We talked about in the pregame show with 6 punch-outs, make it 7 in this series, but still that power is there. 105 off the bat. It's like that. A lot of home runs for this team. That's now 151 on the season for the Astros. He's leveraged that balance.
Now Yordan Alvarez stands in. Talk about a trade deadline deal gone wrong. You know, the Dodgers, I feel like, don't get enough heat. Well, things have worked out for them over the last decade since they made this deal. That's probably why. But they traded this guy for Josh Fields.
Yeah.
And look what he's done for this Astros organization.
Thankfully, he's not on that roster, you would think.
Oh, that might have saved them some money. I don't think they'd be signing Tucker if they had this guy. The ball's too strong.
And again, maybe he's better off over there with the Dodgers than spared with the Astros here. Halos face a lot more.
There's so many players like that around the league that you don't even realize were dealt kind of quietly back then. I mean, at that point, Alvarez was 19. He rolls this one over. One of the few times he gets hit the ball softly. Not much of a hustle. We talk about hustle with some of these guys. Yordan Alvarez was going about 1.2 miles an hour up the line there.
That was a good changeup. Didn't get him, throw him a fastball there. That's the key against him. When you hit that many home runs, drive into many runs, they're trying to say conserve that energy.
I guess so. One out here in the third as Paredes stands in. Angels have a 3-2 lead now. 2 solo homers for the Houston Astros, who lead the major leagues in solo home runs this year. We do have the pitching matchups in for that Brewers series. Friday night for SpongeBob night, it'll be Ryan Johnson against Shane Drowan, the left-hander, who was part of that Red Sox deal in the offseason that sent Caleb Durbin to Boston. The Brewers ended up getting 2 starting pitchers in that deal, Drowan and Kyle Harrison, who's had a nice year for them. Saturday, it'll be Robert Gosser against Jose Soriano. Gosser, a left-hander, and then Sunday, kind of a marquee pitching matchup for the Peacock game Sunday afternoon. As Paredes lifts one out toward right center, Lowe's on the beat after it, moving toward the wall. He makes the catch right in front of the fence.
By the way, how about those 100-mile-an-hour fastballs going to be flying on Sunday afternoon?
Now, Walbert Urania and Jacob Mizorowski on Sunday here at the Big A. That'll be an epic pitching matchup to finish that series.
The Miz against Walden.
Miz has been incredible this year.
I mean, these are 2 incredibly gifted young arms, too, going at it. I mean, they are both extremely young.
Yeah, Mizorowski, 24, has a 1.58 ERA with 185 strikeouts and only 120 innings. He is by far and away the front runner for the National League Cy Young Award. Liner to right, inside out swing, and a base hit for Walker. Feels like 3-2 is not going to be the final here tonight.
That fastball again, a little leaked out over the plate, not quite on those shadows. Again, pretty firm from Grayson Rodriguez.
Here's Altuve, who grounded out his first time. Trying to drown out some of the boos that have followed him throughout this series. It's a tapper toward third. Guzman, bare hand throw. It's too late. Good effort by Guzman. Did what he could. But Altuve has an infield hit.
He still runs well. Guzman made a real nice job on this one. Quick on the transfer using the bare hand, but no chance to get Altuve going down the line. But still, kid's made a lot of good plays at third base, even in this series alone.
He has no doubt been a very strong defensive third baseman. As Guzman tried to make that play against Altuve. Now Trammell is the batter. Whips on that first pitch changeup. Grayson Rodriguez, a mixed bag here so far. We've seen a few strikeouts. We've seen a hard fastball. The changeups look good at times. He's allowed 2 solo home runs, and he's given up 5 hits overall.
Feels like anytime he's anywhere in the center part of the plate, it's been hit hard. And there's a couple ways you can prevent that from happening. You also have to make guys uncomfortable in the batter's box. But also, I think just every once in a while, think about using a two-seam fastball just to sink that fastball to make the four-seam better. Doesn't throw the sinker yet, but I think that's something going forward, especially as he's getting stronger and healthier. It's going to make him better. 52% fastball use, about 54% on the season this year.
Swing and a miss by Trammell.
I mean, he's a great competitor. Pretty solid overall mechanics.
I feel like at some point this should turn around for Rodriguez.
Yes, I mean, when you have that kind of stuff, you're touching 98. You're consistently throwing 96 plus with your fastball. And we know how good his changeup is. He's got to be a little bit better, more consistent with his slider and his curveball.
As you said, he's a grade A type of competitor, which helps, I think, in the long run. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Trammell takes a pitch in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
You see, he's thrown 34 of those four-seam bats, 27 of them to strikes. 4 whiffs on it, and an average just under 97 miles per hour. But hitters can catch up the velo when it's in the middle part of the plate. Shadows and edges, very important with that fastball.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And now 3-2 as that changeup gets laid off. Has the subject about, I mean, he's also working his way back from injury, so it's hard to add things into it. But has the subject of a 2-seam fastball been broached yet, to your knowledge?
No, not that I've heard yet. But I think that's something just in a casual conversation, talk to him about.
Full count here.
His eyes lit up on that one. I think he understands the importance of that pitch. Gives him 2 different types of. Everybody you're seeing now have 2 fastballs, whether it's a cutter or a four-seam and a sinker. But if you can add all 3 of them in there with that velocity, that really helps out.
That's what Cam Schlittler has done this season to make himself a Cy Young candidate. He pitched well again tonight for the Yankees. And here's ball 4 to Trammell. So with 2 outs here, back-to-back hits and a walk have loaded the bases. And Yainer Diaz, with a home run in his last at-bat, will stand in here. Mike Maddox goes to the mound, gives us a chance to drive around with Hyundai.
Enjoy your new car.
Thanks. Gotta run. Okay, bye.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Tell you what, Wayne, Trammell's done a nice job of not going out of the strike zone in this series. I know there's been ups and downs throughout his career, but he's shown, and he hit a rocket out for a home run in this series, but he's been really good as far as not going out of the zone when he's been behind with 2 strikes on him. That's frustrating when you're on the mound and you get to that point, you're trying to get a chase, and you're not even getting him even to think about going after it.
Trammell's been on base a few times now in this series. Hit a home run in the game on Monday. He was on base 4 times in that game. A couple of walks mixed in then as well. Yainer Diaz swings and misses. Diaz has hurt the Angels a bunch over the last few seasons. He's not catching all that often now. He was always kind of regarded as an offensive first type of catcher. As you heard John Mozeliak talk about earlier, those relationships with the pitchers being defensive minded, that really plays for an organization that's trying to win, as the Astros are. That's why you've seen more Christian Vasquez lately.
Well, when you're a winning organization and you rely a lot on starting pitching and pitching in general, you need that good guy behind the plate.
There's a fly ball to right field, and that holds up for Joe Adell with the bases loaded. Adell's got it, and the Astros strand 3. 3-2 Angels here in the 3rd. And Chase Silseth were traded to the Texas Rangers The Angels got back minor league infielder Angel Arredondo from the Rangers organization. Evan Grant from the Dallas Morning News reported that O'Hoppe is actually going to be sent to AAA Round Rock upon arriving into the Rangers organization. So there'll just be some depth for them for now. They have Elias Diaz and Austin Wynns catching at the major league level with Higashioka out. And Shonowell hits one to the right field corner. Hit pretty well, and it is a foul ball off the screen. So for Logan O'Hoppe, he'll have to rebuild his value to some degree, going to AAA in the Rangers organization.
And your mindset, if you're Logan O'Hoppe, is you can't think of, okay, I don't want to be down there, but you have to put the work in to get back up to the show.
And Chase Silseth, who is out of options, I would imagine will go into the big league bullpen for the Rangers for the time being. No balls and a strike on Shonowell.
Well, his last time he had an absolute rocket right to second base. He was nearly 105 off the bat. He's right at the second baseman Altuve.
Well, initially, the Angels are going to Texas in a few weeks. So maybe we
see them a bunch of different times coming up.
So the Rangers are coming here even before that. So in the next 3-4 weeks, the Angels and Rangers play 7 games against each other. So we'll probably see Silseth, but we'll see if O'Hoppe's back in the big leagues by then or not. Shonowell chops it to Altuve, and that's how this bottom of the third begins. 1 out.
Just feel that offense has got to get back on track. They scored 3 runs in the first inning and scored since. You got to get going here. This guy might as well get it going. He's been getting it going quite a bit.
And that he has. Vaughn Grissom, who's at 343 so far in the month of July, and added 2 more RBIs to his total. And he socked a double into the left field corner in the first inning. That brought home both Neto and Trout, giving the Angels the early lead. It was 3-0 after the first. It's only 3-2 now. The Angels try to get more against Hayden Wesneski.
He's now tied for second with the halos and RBIs with Zach Neto.
46 runs batted in. Adele has 60 to lead the team.
There's that sweeper.
Neto has 46. Grissom now 46. Soler has 48. Those are the RBI leaders for the team. Trout has 40. Grissom has really in short order put together a bunch of runs batted in. Strikes out here, though. He's played a lot fewer games than the other guys. For Grissom, this is his 68th game played this year. Adele and Neto over 100. Trout in his 90th game. Soler in his 85th. 84. He's on the bench at least to start tonight.
3 strikeouts in the last 4 batters now for Wesneski. He's got it locked in again. He's using that sweeper.
2 up, 2 down here in the third inning. Joe Adele with that 60th run batted in. His first time up, actually 61st of the year, when he had that bouncing ball single over the head of the shortstop Pena. One ball, 1 strike on Adele. Joe Adele's name's been kicked around. A lot of these guys' names have been kicked around as far as trade rumors. Not too many obvious sellers around baseball.
So going back to, you didn't really hear O'Hoppe or Silseth, and they're the ones that were traded first. That's the old adage, is if you don't hear your name, that's the time something happens. Is when your name is always out there, you don't necessarily get moved.
Yeah, well, Silseth, that came out of nowhere for sure. 2 balls and a strike. You had to feel like something was going to change with the catching position. As Adele hits one off the end of his bat, but still hit it pretty hard. Now it's a line drive single. He's 2 for 2.
So good on pitches downstairs too, Joe Adele. Going to get on one of those hot stretches now himself.
He'd been on in 7 straight games until yesterday. Had that little on base streak snapped, but was batting .348 during that stretch, and now 2 hits to try to start a new one today. Wade Meckler bats had a base hit his first time. With d'Arnaud on the cusp of coming back, and now he's been re-added to the roster with O'Hoppe traded. Sebastian Rivero rehabbing still in the minor leagues. Now, the catching position was going to have to change.
Yeah.
And Logan O'Hoppe found himself as the first man out with that deal to the Rangers tonight. Ground ball hit sharply. Altuve backhands it. As he plants, he throws out Meckler. By Pechanga Resort Casino. Beautiful night here at the Big A this week with the Angels in their City Connect uniforms all week.
With this weather and this warm weather, the beach is the place to be.
Definitely the place to be. We're in the 4th inning now as Cam Smith fouls one behind home plate. And that reaches the seats. Knocked off a dude's head too. Well, the ball knocked off his head. That sounded like that old Jerry Coleman call where his head, Winfield hits his head against the wall and it's rolling back toward the infield. He meant the ball. Cam Smith, as he fouls another one off, is behind 0-2.
Right, this is the time now you want that nasty pitch from Grayson Rodriguez. Finish him off. He's had a lot of at-bats so far where he's got the 2 strikes and some foul balls. See if he can get it done quickly.
Rodriguez 73 pitches already. That pitch count has climbed quickly tonight.
There,
good change.
That's how you get it done quickly.
Strike 3 to Smith, and that's the 4th punch out for Rodriguez. He's gotten Smith twice.
Yeah, he went fastball upstairs and a nasty good changeup down. Out in front, no contact made. You see how far he opened up, and hands just could not stay back to make contact.
The ball's in a strike on Spence.
He's got 4 strikeouts, 3 of them on his changeup tonight.
Spence also struck out his first at bat. One ball, 2 strikes. The Astros sent Jake Myers and Joey Loperfido to the minor leagues earlier this month.
Having a good time at the ballpark.
Well, you can't beat old fun at the ballpark. Some ice cream I saw was being had there.
Yes.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Right.
Yes. That's 12 swing and misses already tonight for Grayson Rodriguez.
5 strikeouts, 4 of them from the bottom 2 hitters in the order.
Now that's great on the shadows and edges with the fastball. That's what you want to do.
Well, some of the attendees of the 2026 softball breakthrough series were here at Angel Stadium tonight, including softball legends Jenny Finch, Natasha Watley, and Lauren Chamberlain, who are mentors and coaches for that breakthrough series, among others.
We were down on the field earlier today, had a good time.
The ball's in a strike on Pena with a home run his last time.
Imagine as a youngster get a chance to be out on the field when a team is taking batting practice, meeting all the major league players. That would have been an all-time thrill. Were you ever down there on the field? Ever? At Wrigley Field?
The Cubs used to host these kids clinics and they'd have some of the players teach you some fundamentals or whatever, but it was awesome. No balls, 2 strikes. I remember standing in the dugout and Andre Dawson came and got a drink out of the water fountain.
Yeah.
I was beside myself.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, he looked like he was 9 feet tall.
There you go.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Jeremy Pena, the Hawk. Foul, and then Heineman could not hang on to it. Still 1-2.
What an incredible player.
All-time great, Hall of Famer.
Hit some of the most viciously hard shots ever.
A true 5-tool player. He had a tremendous throwing arm. At one point, his career was very fast. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pena. He was a legend around Wrigley Field, and that famous story about the blank check and Him just telling the Cubs general manager at the time, Jim Fry, to fill it out with whatever number you want. I want to play for the Cubs. That was when all the collusion was going on, though, too.
Remember it well.
No,
that word is part of my vocabulary forever now.
It sure is. You said it about 100 times a day.
Yes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Pena. So he was having a hard time getting signed, which was part of the story as well. Pena with a looper towards shallow right. Shonowell goes to get it. He's become so good at catching pop-ups. And he has that one to end the inning.
Jensen Vaught from Tennessee. He was diagnosed with anaplastic large cell lymphoma, which is a rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but Jensen had the opportunity this afternoon to come out to the Big A and spend some time with the Halos. His wish was to meet Mike Trout. You see him getting to meet Mike Trout, be on the field, take stretch with the guys. He was also taking some swings in the cage during batting practice. You see the big bag of gifts that he received there too. He's a big Tennessee Volunteers fan, as you would imagine. In that bag was a Ben Joyce bobblehead and 2 signed baseballs by Ben Joyce and Christian Moore, who both reported messages to Jensen down in AAA Salt Lake. The most important news, though, guys, his last chemo treatment was in November of 2025, so he is in remission right now.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
1 ball, 1 strike on Denzer Guzman leading off here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And he's a catcher, too. So Kurt Suzuki was real happy to hear that.
Angels are trying to figure out that position moving forward here. So
yes. Well, that's just great news, though.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Guzman. A little number up the middle as Pena picks it over the back, throws out Guzman. Nicely done by Pena.
He is so smooth. That is not even remotely an easy play. I mean, that is incredible how he made it look easy. Gets to that baseball, stays low, and on the transfer, it got a lot on the throw, an off-balance throw. And Guzman could run really well.
1 out now. Josh Lowe stands in. We've seen Guzman play a really strong defensive third base, and we know that if he ever gets the opportunity to play shortstop, he can do that too. We have not seen him really take off offensively, though. The Angels said it would help to just be a little bit more patient at the plate, swing at more strikes, swing at more pitches that he could do damage with. Those processes are still ongoing for Denzer Guzman to try to become, at least to some degree, match his offense with his defense.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's so hard as a young hitter because you give that pitcher on the mound so much credit and you end up expanding the strike zone and chasing non-strikes. Obviously your goal, and Zach Netto's even said it too, is try to keep the guys in the zone. When you're doing that, you have a chance. If you're swinging outside the zone, it's going to be a tough battle every time.
1 ball, 2 strikes. As Lowe takes a pitch in the dirt, it's 1-2. And you'd like to see Guzman make those strides at the major league level, because for the first 2 months of this season at AAA, he was among the league leaders in a lot of offensive categories. So we know he can handle that level. And maybe at some point he'll go back to that level and have to reprove himself there. But while he's here, those strides offensively have not quite been made yet for Guzman. But you look at his defense and his speed, and that's a guy you want to see develop into a good player. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here on Josh Lowe. Drew a walk in his first plate appearance today. It's this one hard towards center. It's hit pretty well. Spence is back for it. He's still going out near the wall, and he's got it right in front of the fence.
Boy, good swing again for Josh Lowe. This wrong part of the ballpark.
2 down. The Angels have not gotten anything going offensively against Wesneski since that productive first inning. Only 1 hit since the first. Here's Tyler Heineman, who had a sacrifice bunt his first time.
And the pitch count for Grayson Rodriguez is up there a little bit, so you'd think bullpen is going to have to be a part of this game at some point. He's at 85 pitches right now going into the 5th inning.
Bullpen quiet right now.
And Silseth not part of that bullpen.
Heineman lifted one to shallow right. That gets down for a base hit. 2-out single from the Angels catcher.
He's done some nice things offensively for the Halos. He made good contact. Change up. This went down and got him. Was able to punch that into right center field. Catch it out in front. Gives Neto a chance to swing the bat here now.
Neto with a walk and a run scored in the first inning. Struck out his last time. It's a 3-2 lead for the Angels here in the fourth.
I just feel like he's so due to catch one.
It's been a while.
The drive on a long, long way.
He's not homered since July 5th. He's been stuck at 19 for the season ever since. And reached his third straight year of 20 homers and 20 doubles. Already has the doubles locked up. One ball, one strike on Neto. Angels have not been scoring runs much generally in the month of July. One of the lowest scoring offenses in the majors this month. Why they are 6-15 in July, even though their starting pitching has been good. And the bullpen's been a lot better until the ninth inning, of course. Line drive caught by a diving Pena, which ends the fourth.
On a fastball, jumps on that one. Another four-seam fastball. He can hit a fastball extremely hard. And tonight, that first at bat, a rocket to center field that was caught by Josh Lowe. Fastball, but dropped a change piece on him. Out in front, rolled it over to second base.
Alvarez lifts this one toward the left field line. It's a long run for Meckler. He is tracking it down. He makes the catch. It was in fair territory when he caught it. Alvarez is the first down.
That's why we said fastball to get it out against him. The Mac can cover a lot of ground. No one can beat the Mac.
No one ever could. How about that reaction from Meckler earlier today?
I know.
He was
wow.
Stretching, getting ready for the game out there on the field. I mean, we found out about the trade, and for a 6:38 first pitch here, we found out at about 6:20. This trade was going down with O'Hoppe and Silseth going to the Rangers. We were finding out, players were finding out, and Meckler said, "What? Trading Hopp now?"
It's shocking for players when you're your friend, your teammate. I was just talking to him about it. I said, "Hey, you did a nice job on that one changeup. Everything was set up perfect. Kept your shoulders square, the glove down, that changeup late in the game, kept it out in front for a strikeout in the dirt, and then." A few minutes later, he was traded. It's crazy.
That's how it goes this time of the year, and we'll see a lot more deals done. I mean, it sure looked like Tarek Skubal's last day as a Tiger. Yeah. At least his last start as a Tiger happened today with the reaction to Skubal after his performance was done. It seemed like the end of the road there in Detroit. It's a different market for Skubal than for guys like Detmers and Soriano, because Skubal's a rental. You know that he's only going to be wherever he is for a few months, unless, of course, they would be the team that re-signs him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But it seemed like the Tigers, and they've had a bad week, are preparing for life without Skubal.
Especially when you're up 7-0 in that game. In the 7th inning, you end up losing that game with Skubal on the mound.
They've lost a lot of games this year when they have been up in the 7th inning or later. Paredes hits one toward right field as that moves back Adele. 2 outs. Skubal pitched well today. Tigers had that 7-0 lead in a game they ended up losing.
Picked up his 1,000th career punch out. And he picked up a few more too.
2-time Cy Young winner. He's won the back-to-back years. And he will be highly sought after. But again, what will the Tigers get for him? As a pitcher that is a free agent after the season is over, that remains to be seen. A ball's and a strike on Christian Walker. A walk and a base hit to start his night. Grayson Rodriguez trying to get through 5. He's only been able to do that a few times this season. One of those was against the Astros when 5 1/3 on June 8th. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Walker. We'll do their bullpen up. Mitch Ferris getting loose as Rodriguez sits right now 95 pitches, so this will likely be his last inning.
Still 97-mile-an-hour fastball there. He's had so many swing and misses here tonight.
No doubting the arm and the power of that arm. See all the pitches in the first 3 innings especially piling up on him. Coming back from various injuries and even a couple IL stints this year. No reason to push him any further than 100 pitches or so here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Walker. He's already at a season high in pitches thrown with this next one.
He's guided that changeup.
Count is full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A good way to finish it for Grayson Rodriguez.
Overall, solid performance with
1, 2, 3 innings to finish it off here tonight. Come celebrate D23 Day at the Big A Wednesday, August 12th. The Angels and Rangers will battle, and the first 23,000 fans in attendance will receive a commemorative, one-of-a-kind limited release D23 Mickey Mouse bobblehead, plus a limited number of unique golden Mickeys will be randomly distributed. Angels.com/promotions.
golden Mickeys.
You know, the character or player bobbleheads, how long has that really been going on? About 30 years or so. You know, the old time players didn't really have this. There was no George Brett bobblehead night.
No.
At Royal Stadium back then. My whole point about that is that Trout probably has the most bobbleheads of any Angel.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
1 ball, 1 strike. A high fly here.
Don't seem like Spence really sees that up there.
No, Altuve does though.
Yes.
He makes the catch. 1 out. I mean, there weren't, Reggie Jackson bobbleheads when he was with the Angels, or Rod Carew. It would have been cool, but it wasn't a thing then.
I'm not really sure if there's been a Tim Salmon. I haven't even asked him when he's a bobblehead.
When he played, it couldn't have been. I mean, maybe. That's kind of in his era is when they started to come.
Yeah.
Even then, they weren't that good. Now they really look like the players and can make different things. There's the bobble arms or bobble whatever. 1 out here. As Nolan Shonwell.
Nick had some fun with that one and say Brian Downing. That ball hit Shonwell. And Fred Lynn, as they went up against the wall, kind of like the Joe Adele play into the stands. That would have been fun.
Do whatever with the bobbleheads now. But it really is in the last 20 years or so. Well, the Angels, I did see that we got our little own bobblehead Hall of Fame now.
Yes.
So here's some of the various ones. Nolan Ryan, there's Mike, of course, and there's Mike as well, and then there's Mike.
Hey, and there's more. And there's Albert.
1 out with Grissom at the plate. Well, that proved my point, didn't it?
I think I got Albert to sign that bobblehead
You did?
I have in my office.
Vaughn Grissom 6 for 10 in this series, including a 2-run double earlier today.
So I think that's a 600 batting average.
You're correct.
Oh, I feel good about my math today.
Better than ever. There's a ground ball to third, handled by Paredes. Over to second 1, and Altuve to first 2. Around the horn for the double play. We'll bobble our way to the 6th. Ball on ABTV, brought to you by the help of your SoCal Honda dealers. Follow at Helpful Honda, and they can help you too. By Amazon, spend less on your kids for back to school. And by StubHub, a proud partner of Angels baseball. Nice job by Grayson Rodriguez tonight. Went 5 innings, struck out 6. Not a couple of solo homers, but certainly something to build off of here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of swinging misses. That changeup ended up being really, really solid. Fastball was 97, 98 throughout. Some decent breaking balls, too.
Altuve with a one-hopper on the first pitch thrown by Mitch Ferris. And Denzel Guzman throws him out.
You've ever heard fans get so excited about an out when the batter at the plate, and then when Altuve makes an out?
It's very excitable when Altuve makes an out.
He's got so many hits over the years against the Halos, I guess you would be that way.
No question. Well, they don't boo nobodies, that's for sure, and especially in his case. Former MVP and a likely Hall of Famer. Taylor Trammell shows bunt, takes ball one. Trammell's walked a few times in this series, also been hit by a pitch, has a home run.
Been very, very patient throughout his at-bats, too.
Astros are trying to get someone in their outfield to be productive for them. They've had almost as many outfielders as starting pitchers this year. They've had a host of outfielders come in and out. And really, no one has been all that productive. Unless you count Alvarez, who's DH'd most of the year.
It's already the 24th game for Mitch Ferris.
Pitched out of the bullpen in various roles. We've seen him in long relief. I know he started in the past. We've even seen him in the ninth inning now a couple of times. Three balls and one strike now on Trammell with Yainer Diaz to follow. Angels still holding this 3-2 lead. Scored 3 in the first, and that's been it. That's a strike. Trammell threw his bat down.
Now he's going to challenge. They've already lost one challenge. Yeah, he might lose this one too.
It looked like a strike. Astros challenge powered by T-Mobile, and it is a strike. So, only strike 2 in the at bat. When you have one challenge left in a close game,
that's going to be big, especially when you're facing Yordan Alvarez later in the game.
Angels still have both of their challenges, and Houston has none. 3-2. That's ball 4. You know, that's one of those where you wonder if the home plate umpire has a moment to take exception now that the Astros can't do anything about it.
I think if it would have been closer, maybe. But they would never do that.
No, of course not. Jacob Metz is the home plate umpire, kind of a younger umpire, so maybe he's not as ornery as some of those older guys. One out with a runner on first base.
Especially when you do that, you flip the bat and everything else start walking down.
So all the things that you were taught watching baseball, or in your case playing it as a young major leaguer, you have to learn the umpire's moods.
Yep.
Ground ball sharply hit and through for Diaz. Trammell goes to second base. The Astros trying to get something cooking here.
Diaz, as usual, always a thorn in Halos. Another good swing, another hard hit baseball. He hit so many baseballs extremely hard against the Angels. That was 107 plus.
Working around the moods of the umpires, though, now is not as much of a big deal. You have replay reviews on the bases. You have pitch reviews now. So the umpires stick their beaks in a little bit less. And their moods generally don't matter as much now. First and second with one out. Ground ball, that's fair. Past Guzman down the left field side. Trammell comes home with the tying run. Diaz is being waved around. The ball still has not come in yet. Now Neto gets the cutoff, but it's too late to do anything, as Yainer Diaz scores all the way from first, and the Astros have their first lead tonight. Two-run double for Cam Smith.
You mentioned how he hits the ball hard. He hit that one extremely hard right down the line. It was a fastball, 91-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. Just like that, all that hard work for Grayson Rodriguez. And that ends up being a no decision.
And the Angels behind on top of that, trying to avoid a sweep in this series. Angels played the Astros pretty well earlier in the year. Split the 4 games in Houston, although they could have won all 4 of those. If you remember, some blown leads there, including that third game of the year in which the Angels had a 6-0 lead that got away. In the series here at Angel Stadium in June, the Angels won 2 out of 3. So far in this series, the Astros have won the first 2, taking late leads in both of them. A little earlier lead tonight here in the 6th. Lucas Spence at the plate with Smith at second base, and we will find out what's on the menu at Jack in the Box.
Don't get FOMO. Get my Philly-style bonus Jack combos and new Philly Munchie Meal.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Angels had the lead with Grayson Rodriguez going 5 tonight. He tied his season high with 6 strikeouts. More of those came on his changeup.
Really liked what I saw from Grayson tonight.
Big deal for the Angels to get Rodriguez to start to put together better outings as he moves through the last couple of months, and just get him pointed in the right direction before you think about next year's rotation. He still has a couple of years of team control.
You say Kikuchi's going to Rancho Cucamonga to start tomorrow.
Kikuchi has 1 more year left on his deal. See how the Angels think about pitching for next year as we go along here in the next few days. We'll get some answers, I'm sure, as Spence takes ball 4. And with that, a ball that went to the backstop, putting Smith at third, a wild pitch.
And all of a sudden you got that top of the order going. And it wasn't quite up thrown down in the bullpen yet either.
Remember, the Angels are a man short down there tonight with Silseth being traded to the Rangers. They didn't have a replacement ready for him in the way that d'Arnaud came up to replace O'Hoppe. Ben Joyce not quite ready yet to rejoin the Major League bullpen. Maybe by Friday. We'll hear more as the week goes along. Jeremy Pena at the plate now, at a home run earlier. And now another one off the glove of Heineman that goes to the backstop. This time the run will score. Smith comes in on another wild pitch.
It's turning that changeup over too much.
Two wild pitches now in this inning for Ferris. This one plates a run. It's 5-3.
And that's well out of the strike zone, the left-handed batter's box. Used quite a bit when you think about it, though. For Mitch Ferris, how often he's been used out of the bullpen of late. You know, he pitched that last game in San Francisco, too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Certainly new territory for Ferris in that regard, having to be ready every day. And that's something relievers have to learn how to do as they transition out of being a starter. And this is the first season for Ferris in that regard. Ring Suter, it's old hat for him as he's up in the bullpen now.
3 times in the last 4 games for Ferris.
No off day in there. The Angels have a couple coming up, 1 tomorrow and 1 Monday. Swing and a miss here. Pena struck out a whole lot in this series. That's 8 strikeouts for Pena over these 3 days. 2 outs as Alvarez stands in now. This is the reliever usage over the last 7 days for a lot of these relievers have been busy, including Ferris.
And we see a lot of games where you're going 5 innings, 6 innings max. So a lot of outs out of the bullpen.
Alvarez will be intentionally walked here. The Astros already with 3 in the inning. The Angels don't want to see this get any further out of hand. To Paredes and a base hit in the first inning. Astros 5 runs, 7 hits now. Managed only 2 off the starter Rodriguez. 3 in this inning off Barris. Now 2-0. This is kind of the...
You're seeing a pitcher here, Wayne. It's really just trying to muscle up, trying to fight his way through it. I mean, he's missing by quite a bit.
All ball foul. Reyes broke his bat on that one. Just off the corner. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. By the left. Meckler is in. Neto is out. Meckler ends up calling him off to make the catch. That ends the inning. But a 3 spot for Houston as they take the lead. Join your Angels for Family Sunday and Kids Run the Bases Sunday home games through August 30th. Visit the Gate 4 Courtyard for fun activities and stay after for Kids Run the Bases. For a full list of Family Sundays presented by Yakult Probiotic Drink, angels.com/promotions. Hayden Wesneski in his first game back from Tommy John surgery has shaken off a rough first inning to put together 5 solid ones overall.
It looked like a chance to potentially knock him out in the first inning. That ground ball double play against Denzer Guzman, who hit it well. Ended up getting a double play. And next thing you know, he's looked up. Now he has the lead.
He's been efficient as well. Only his 70th pitch of the game right there.
Yeah, they're trying to keep him around 90 pitches today. He's into the 6th inning. It's at 70.
Go 7 if he fit him in 90 pitches. The way he's gone tonight. Joe Adell count 2-0. He's had a couple of hits against Wesneski. Angels had 3 runs, 4 hits in the first. No runs, 2 hits since then. The Astros have come back to make it 5-3. Angels scoring 3 runs in the first inning for the 6th time this year. The other 5 times they won. And now here they're down by 2.
Upper part of the strike zone, and Joe was like, I should have hit that one there. That was a sweeper that stayed upstairs.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Adell. And that swung out and missed for strike 3. A slow breaking ball from Wesneski as he gets his 4th strikeout, 1 down.
You can always tell by a hitter's reaction when a pitch like that, the pitch before you didn't swing at it. You can just tell by that frustration that you don't necessarily have to be in the strike zone the very next pitch. That's exactly what happened.
A lot of big comebacks in the majors today. We talked about Detroit blowing that 7-0 lead against Baltimore, which seemed to all but sew up the fact that Tarek Skubal is likely to get traded. Baltimore came back to beat the Tigers 10-9 in 12 innings today. The Marlins were down 6-0 against the Phillies. They came back to win 8-6. Been a rough go for the Fighting Fish, but suddenly putting it back together against the Phillies.
Yeah, they've had some big time comebacks late against them.
Ground ball up the middle. This is Pena's territory, and he'll take care of that. 2 outs. The Yankees had a 4-0 lead in Chicago against the White Sox tonight. That was into the 7th or 8th inning, and then the White Sox scored 3 in the 8th to tie it. And now have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 12th inning there.
Yeah, the Yankees had an opportunity even at the top of the 12th to score some runs, but they didn't.
The White Sox did just win it. Edgar Caro had the game-winning hit, so a 6-5 final there. Cubs had a 2-0 lead in the top of the 10th in St. Louis, but they lost 3-2. Strike to Denzer Guzman. Teams all trying to position themselves to figure out who they are and who they want to be. With this trade deadline rapidly approaching now. Padres won today. They beat Colorado 3-1. They're a couple games over 500 now.
You know, all of a sudden they've gotten hot again. Arizona's been playing really well themselves.
And the Diamondbacks are 5 games over after they beat the Pirates today 3-0. So these teams trying to position themselves in any way, shape, or form to make themselves, in some ways, you're trying to convince yourself that you're a real contender. For the teams that are really in it, the teams that are true contenders, you think that they would try to solidify themselves even more. As some of these other teams try to make a move. Guzman lifts one over third and has a base hit with 2 outs.
Nice job on that sweeper there. Even that was a little bit off the plate. Kept his hands back and able to hit that into left field. See it spinning off the outside corner. Kept his hands through the baseball and was able to punch it in the left. It's like that tying run coming to the dish.
Nice job by Hayden Wesneski. Angels baseball on AB TV, brought to you by Pechanga Resort Casino and by Cerritos Auto Square. Don't risk buying the wrong car. Test drive your top options in one convenient place. Convenient place to store some Gold Glove Awards and other team memorabilia. Gold Glove Awards are all cool to see.
Oh, definitely. Wesneski did an amazing job. First start back. Tommy John, what a job he did tonight.
It's a pretty good first start back from Tommy John, no question. 5 2/3, 2 runs, make that 3 runs on the board, all in the first inning. And 4 punch outs. Now Bennett Souza is the new pitcher, left-hander, against Jose Siri, pinch hitting for Lowe. Ball 1 from Souza.
Fastball is a firm one, 94-98. Slider. Occasional cutter.
Astros have an off day tomorrow as well before they go play the Rangers on Friday. I don't think necessarily that means they'd use Josh Hader for a 3rd straight day, though. We've seen Hader in the first 2 games of this series.
He threw 4 pitches yesterday, though.
That's the one thing about Hader's potential usage tonight, is that he was barely used yesterday. Here's Siri launching one left center field, but it hangs up, and Trammell makes the catch. And it is the defense behind Grayson Rodriguez tonight.
Grayson, man, real nice play in that outfield grass. Quick throw over to base, showing that range. Solid play.
I'll tell you something that we feel mutually the same about. Might be redundant, but you get my point. Is that we both believe that Erica should be a national anthem singer here at Angel Stadium at some point.
100%.
Oh, no. I was hoping everybody forgot about that. That was
I'll never forget.
No, we don't.
Neither did the fans down here before the pregame show, evidently. I'm hearing it everywhere.
Oh,
I did it to myself.
Are you ready?
I said I would sing it the last game of the season, but I didn't say what year.
Well, I think this year would be perfect.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Warm up. How long does that take? 2 months?
Evidently.
Christian Walker leads off here in the 7th against Kirby Yates, the new pitcher for the Angels. Remember Dwight Smith singing the national anthem a few times in uniform.
Wow.
Before games with his various.
Well, you're going to get out and help Eric out in your Elvis outfit, aren't you?
No, that would be quite a duo.
Yeah, that would be. 0-2, swing and a miss as Walker is down on strikes. I mean, what would be wrong with that?
No, nothing wrong.
Second baseman, number 27,
Jose Altuve bats with 1 out. I don't think they're saying boo. I think they're telling Erica to sing.
Sing. Erica, sing.
Sing.
I'm going home.
Well, hopefully don't say that.
No.
Kid's out of control.
It's like Barry Manilow said, she sings the songs that make the whole world sing. I mean, everyone's going to be out there singing along.
Those kids from Philly.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Boy, oh boy. Are those some of your great nephews there?
Yes. Good to see you guys. Glad you got your tickets.
These guys weren't even born. Ball 2 strikes on Altuve. Two and 2 the count now. Two balls, 2 strikes on Altuve. A base hit in the 3rd. Time is called as Heineman goes out. A 7th inning stretch with 2 more outs from Kirby Yates. Astros took the lead with 3 runs in the 6th inning. There's a bouncer toward the middle. Neto trying to range for it, could not reach it. Base hit, another for Altuve, his 2nd today.
Just made contact and get it through the hole. See that reaction by Yates. I mean, you make a pretty good pitch. It was out of the strike zone, a splitter, and he just made contact and rolled it back up the middle.
The ball's 1 strike on Trammell. And the walk and a run scored his last time.
Get him now to chase the 2 strikes. He hasn't done that all night or all series. Trammell.
Runner going and a foul back. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Astros are trying to get back to 500. They have not been at 500 since April 8th. They were 6-6 to start the year. That's the last time they were a 500 team.
Not a real big lead for Altuve.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Trammell couldn't hold up there on the splitter from Yates. 2 strikeouts in the inning.
Finally got him to chase something out of the strike zone with 2 strikes. Splitter. Couple punch outs in the inning for Yates.
Yainer Diaz has a couple of hits tonight, including a home run. Out in front of that, 0-1, and a base hit and a run scored in the 6th inning.
Yeah, he's hit 2 baseballs extremely hard today.
We talked about his offense earlier. Part of his game has not been an issue as he pops this one up.
This could be trouble here.
Shawano with a long run. He can't reach it. That is back to the infield. Altuve's trying to score. Here comes the throw home, and it is off the mark. Altuve comes all the way around. On a high pop-up with 2 outs in the inning, Altuve was on the move. And Shawano got twisted up. He couldn't make the catch, and Altuve had a lot of time to come all the way around.
It's one of those plays too. You're almost better if Joe Adell gets the baseball and makes that throw home, because he's going, at least going forward. Shawano's been so good on those pop-ups.
This one, he had his back to the infield and just couldn't reach it. It's not as if Altuve was motoring around the whole time, but once he kicked it into a high gear, he was able to score fairly easily. So Diaz gets his 3rd hit and an RBI at that. The Astros tack on a run to make it 6-3. Not sure if Shawano had a brief moment there where he didn't pick the ball up right away.
Altuve going on the pitch.
Yeah, he was attempting to steal on the pitch, but then he didn't really run very hard after that. He jogged between 2nd and 3rd, which negated him getting the head start to begin with, but then he scored, no matter what, he scored easily. Houston now with 4 runs in the last 2 innings since the Angels bullpen got involved. It's a 6-3 lead with Diaz at first. Even Diaz, with all that happening, only was able to get 1 base. Angels in danger of a 67th defeat. We'll tie them once again with the Rockies for the most in the majors. Angels and Rockies with identical records entering today. And that's why these trades are attractive to John Mozeliak, to see what he can do to put the Angels in a better position as they look to move forward.
Yeah, it's got to change the way everything has been going.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Smith. Missed it earlier. The Angels traded Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth to the Texas Rangers. O'Hoppe was sent to AAA in the Rangers organization. Silseth expected to join their big league bullpen. The Angels got back Angel Arredondo from the Rangers, a minor league infielder. Swing and a miss by Smith. Another run comes home for Houston to make it 6-3. And we get to our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. San Francisco put a big number on the board today against the Brewers. Daniel Susac, the rookie catcher, with his first 2 major league home runs today, as the Giants put up 16. That one off of Andrew Vaughn, the Brewers infielder, as San Francisco wins 16-3. Both teams come to Southern California. The Giants to San Diego this weekend, and the Brewers come here. Salvador Perez, who earlier in the week became the Royals' all-time home run leader, put up his 12th career triple today. His first triple in 4 years, and look at him go.
Motoring. says, I'm going to lay down for a while.
It was nap time for Saturday as the Royals beat the Twins today. Well, the Angels made a trade before the game, and we'll see how these next few days turn out.
Yeah, I mean, Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth has been throwing the ball really, really well this season. And, just talking to Mo there in the first inning, I think there's a lot more moves coming for the Halos.
See how it does turn out here for the Angels, who look to come back in this game trailing 6-3 against the Astros. They call him Big Papa, the first 25,000 fans Friday, August 14th against the Royals. That's your birthday.
Yes.
We'll get a Zach Neto t-shirt courtesy of Pocari Sweat. Angels.com/promotions for more info.
They say it's your birthday.
No, it's your birthday.
Oh.
August 14th.
I thought that was a song.
In case you forgot.
Oh. Well, that birthday I might start forgetting quickly.
Tyler Heineman is at the plate, due up against the lefty Souza here. Heineman, switch hitter, will bat right-handed. Neto and Trout follow. Angels down 6-3 now. I'm looking more forward to your birthday next year, though. That's when you really cross the line.
Oh, I really appreciate that, Wayne.
And to senior citizenship.
As if I'm not that now?
Not yet, not technically. But I guess so. 2 balls, no strikes on Heineman.
AARP and pensions and all those things don't qualify as being a senior citizen yet. Getting those discounts and movie tickets too. That's all I cared about.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1 on Heineman. Sharply on the ground, but Paredes picks it with a backhand and a strong throw for the out. 1 away. It'll be Neto after a ride with Kia.
Nice line shot the last at bat for Neto. See if he can carry it over in this at bat. Jeremy Pena made a real nice play on that shot he hit.
Angels scored 3 runs in the first inning time. They have not scored since. Wisniewski pitched well for the Astros, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Now Souza in the game. And ball, 1 strike the count here on Neto. He couldn't hold his swing. It's 1-2. These 2 teams will meet just 1 more time. They'll play in Houston August 18th through the 20th. Angels really don't see much of their division in the final month of the year, which you were trying to win the division at that point. You'd want those games head-to-head against the teams that are in your division. It was not really scheduled that way outside of Seattle. The Angels only have 2 games against the A's in September. They have 7 against the Mariners. They have 0 against the Astros and the Rangers in the month of September.
Next year, at the end of the year, though, they got quite a few within the division.
Well, maybe that'll come into play next year then. You want those head-to-head matchups. Neto with a fly toward right. Over toward the line is Smith. Almost overran it, but he does make the catch. 2 outs. Our upcoming schedule is brought to you by Pechanga Resort Casino on ABTV. Brewers are in town this weekend. Milwaukee vying with the Dodgers for the best record in all of baseball. Milwaukee lost tonight. The Dodgers are ahead of the Mariners. Those two teams tied entering the day. Angels go to Baltimore next week. See Taylor Ward at Camden Yards, and then maybe off to Miami. Yeah, it's a good point. After the trade deadline, the Orioles are not quite close in the AL East, or the wild card for that matter. Well, they won today, so they're 3 games under 500. Kind of close, but not to the point where you'd hold off on a guy who's a free agent after the year anyway in Ward. So yeah, it's a good point. We might see Taylor Ward somewhere else by then. And what's Miami going to do? They were playing great for about 6 weeks, and they lost 12 in a row, and just had a good series against the Phillies. Marlins have a lot of young players, but they have a very tradable asset in Sandy Alcantara that would certainly be attractive around the league. One ball, 2 strikes on Trout, who had a double and a run scored earlier. So this ball sharply, but Paredes picks that as well. Low throw, but Walker able to grab it.
And been solid at third base for him defensively also.
Goal of an MLB fan is see them all. And the Journey to 30 is underway. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile. The ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Visit MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps. Come here to Angel Stadium and see one of the older ballparks in all of baseball. 4th oldest major league stadium. Back to when this place opened in the mid-1960s. Only Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field, and Fenway Park are older than the Big A. Lucas Spence hustling down the line, but thrown out by Vaughn Grissom. It's 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th inning for Brent Suter, the new pitcher.
You know, he's working quickly out there, trying those quick strikes, quick outs.
But last night, the Angels pitchers combined for a new season high with 17 strikeouts in the game. Tonight, 10 more. 6 from Grayson Rodriguez. Yates had 3 in his 1 inning, and Ferris had 1.
For a team over the years that don't normally strike out a whole lot. A little bit more this year, but still a team that doesn't generally strike out a ton.
9 times in the opener this series. So 36 strikeouts over the 3 games here from the Angel pitching staff against these Houston hitters. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pena, who is responsible for 8 of those strikeouts. 2 more today, 4 yesterday. Bounces this one to Guzman.
Wow.
Kind of a funny hop, but he stayed with it and throws out Pena.
A nice arm too. Look at hit the corner of the infield, grass and dirt. Oh, it's the dirt and skipped. Play, good hands. There's a Guzman.
2 down, and the batter will be Alvarez. So far quiet tonight, 0 for 3. Intentionally walked. Alvarez hitting .386 over his last 22 games, 10 home runs. He's 35 on the year. Leads the American League in all 3 Triple Crown categories. Leads the major leagues in OPS, 1082 entering today.
Well, he likes the fastball, doesn't he? Well, actually hits all pitches well. You look at fastballs, breaking balls, and off speed, all of them well over 300 batting average against all those pitches. I guess that's why you have a shot at a Triple Crown.
There's a strike from Suter. His average right now is .322 with the 0 for 3 today. Not many guys even hitting 300. Yandy Diaz, second in the American League, batting .301. 7 qualified hitters across the majors hitting over 300 right now.
Hey, slugging 690 plus against fastballs. The breaking balls, 702 coming in, but couldn't touch that changeup.
Suter with a 1-2-3 inning strikes out Alvarez.
Going back to our Hyundai key for the game today, Rockaway Beach. Right away, early on, the Halos. We're rocking the baseball. 3 runs in the first. Vaughn Grissom continues his hot streak. Driving a couple there with that swing. Joe Adell with the infield in. Gets that through the infield for an RBI. See if there's any comeback in the Halos here as the Mac got a base hit there too in the first inning. See if there's some late magic here.
Stephen Okert is the new pitcher for the Astros. First pitch strike to Nolan Shonowell. Okert's done a nice job out of the Houston bullpen this year.
Already his 53rd game.
2.05 ERA for Okert. And pretty good for the Astros the last couple of seasons. Really a journeyman, bounced around, although did not have a lot of major league time.
I think he's going to be all right on this one, Shonowell.
Shonowell's been the Angels' best at challenges this year. It didn't quite start that way. But he's up there now. He's up actually among the major league leaders in challenges won, and he's just added one more. Sal Stewart of the Reds is the only batter that has one more challenges than Shonowell. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that ball launched over toward right field. Smith is on the run after it. It's over his head as it one-hops over the wall. It's an automatic double. And a good start for the Angels here in the 8th.
Did a couple baseballs well today, including that line shot in the first inning. Now 19 doubles. Shonowell. Stayed down on that one. Got a slider, barrel out in front, and hooked it to right field for a double. If the Halos can take one away from the Astros here.
Vaughn Grissom had a 2-run double in the first inning. Grissom's driven in runs in every game in this series. And the second time an Angel has done that since the beginning of May. Soler did it against the Orioles about a month ago. Grissom had a big cut there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he was trying to make it a 1-run game with that swing. There's a hanging slider, middle of the plate.
One and 2 now on Grissom. Hit into a double play his last time, facing the 35-year-old Okert. In 68 games for the Astros last year, had a career high 84 strikeouts. Another good cut from Grissom, but another foul. 1-2.
Good high ball hitter too, Grissom.
Chandler Rome wrote about Okert in The Athletic today. Josh Hader calls him the lifeline in that Astro bullpen. He's been their best reliever, at least most consistent reliever this year, if you include Hader's time on the IL and Abreu's issues early in the season. Grissom lays off there, and it's 2-2. Remains to be seen here tonight what the path to the finish line looks like for Houston. Earl Hader back in there for a 3rd straight day if this game is in need of a save, which right now would be.
You have the off day like you mentioned earlier tomorrow.
They do, but they also are playing the Rangers this weekend. Will be some games that matter quite a bit in the standings. As Abreu is getting ready now, which kind of makes you think Hader might be available tonight. Two balls, 2 strikes to count on Grissom. Hit hard. Altuve with a scoop. And has time to throw Grissom out at first.
He hit that ball right on the money, too.
It's blistered by Grissom. Shotwell takes third on the play. Altuve, even though he's won a Gold Glove in the past, not one of the more swift defenders at second base, but was able to handle that one off the bat of Grissom.
A little bit better screen by the second base umpire, though. We needed that one.
Joe Adell takes ball one. Chris Guccione, too, at second base. Crew chief. Italian. Didn't help us out there.
No.
I mean, feel free to call out all the Hungarian umpires.
Oh, yeah, there's so many. All they know is Albert Bosky had a birthday just the other day, so that was good enough.
Fly ball to right. This should bring home the run. Smith getting himself in position for a long throw. Shotwell comes to the plate. Smith's throw off the line. Shotwell scores. Sac fly for Adell. His second RBI tonight. Team leading 62nd on the year, and it's 6-4. The 2 out, nobody on, and Meckler bats. Angels already used Jose Siri tonight as a pinch hitter. Meckler up against the lefty here. Angels do have Travis d'Arnaud on the bench now, as he was re-added to the roster with Logan O'Hoppe being traded out before the game. We have Jorge Soler on the bench as well. You have Peraza, so some right-handed options, but Kurt Suzuki letting the lefty stay in here.
That's why you see Trammell moving in a little bit more so to left field if he tries to punch it that way against the lefty.
1 ball, 2 strikes now on Meckler. There's Travis. Been a while since we've seen him battling plantar fasciitis.
Covered quickly.
Meckler serves this one toward the left field line. It's Trammell chasing but running out of room. You think that could be a season-long injury? Player ends up with plantar fasciitis. Darno has not played since May 6th. Come back at under 3 months is pretty quick, all things considered.
Good hack by Meckler on that fastball. Yeah, it's real quick.
The Mech. Of course, the Mick was a switch hitter. He could just turn around to bat right-handed here. Mickey Mantle still and seemingly forever has held the all-time home run record by a switch hitter in Major League history with his 536. And that record might last forever.
Yeah. Chili Davis made a run at it a little bit.
Eddie Murray second on that list and Chipper Jones third. Chili Davis 7th all-time in homers by a switch hitter, 350 for Chili.
I always forget how great of a player Eddie Murray was. I mean, his numbers off the charts.
500 homers and 3,000 hits for Eddie Murray. Steady at first base for those good Oriole teams in the late 70s and early 80s. Had a long career. He ended up here for a short time.
Yes. To see him a number of times watching. He's a big Clippers fan, basketball fan. The
the most home runs by an active switch hitter would be Lindor and maybe Jose Ramirez. They're both up there. Lindor is at 287, Ramirez 295. So I think it would be one of those two. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Meckler serves it down the left field line. That's a base hit. Inside out swing, kept it fair. Motors to second. And the second double of the inning, both by left-handed batter.
This is a great all-around at bat by the Met. Saw a lot of pitches, fought off some tough ones. Elevated fastball. Serves it down that left field line. It's like that, you're bringing the tying run to the dish.
And Joe Espada will make a move to the bullpen here. And Meckler a little too early for a fall like that. We'll have Angels Live postgame presented by Kia. See if the Angels can make a comeback here in the later innings. We've seen the Astros pull out wins in their final at bat twice in this series. The Angels would have a chance to do the same. Tying run at the plate here. Denzer Guzman will face the new pitcher Brian Abreu. Ball 1 from Abreu. I guess Carlos Santana has the most home runs of any active switch hitter, although just barely hanging on at this point. He's in the Braves minor league system at age 40. He has not retired yet. He has 335 home runs, then Ramirez, then Lindor. Just a
lot of walks too for Santana. Lots of walks.
Do you think he has the most walks by an active switch hitter too?
Yeah.
He does. He has the most walks of any active player, actually 1,332 bases on balls. And a great guitarist.
Yes.
2 balls and 1 strike on Guzman. Two doubles in the inning off Stephen Oker. The Angels have plated a run. Guzman has not homered since the Angels were in Sacramento in June.
Good patience so far at the plate.
The Angels want to see more of from Guzman. Swinging at better strikes. 3-1 the count here. You have to be patient with Abreu. The bouncer foul.
Might have helped him out a little bit on that one.
3-1 slider. That's certainly not the pitch you're looking for. At the bottom, very bottom part of the zone. That's a called third strike. And Guzman goes down looking to end the inning.
It's the upper part of the strike zone at cutters.
Here at Angel Stadium. For more info on upcoming games, including exciting matchups, giveaways, and more, Angels.com/tickets. The Yankees still have a trip to the Big A later in the year. The Phillies will come here. Of course, the Brewers this weekend with Jacob Misiorowski pitching Sunday here at Angel Stadium.
But that, him against Rainey. I mean, that is some serious gas going to be seen if you're a fan of the ballpark.
Yeah, that's going to be something on Sunday afternoon for the finale of this homestand. Homestand later in the month of August, a 3-team homestand with Cleveland, Philadelphia, and the Yankees all coming here. Those should all be exciting matchups, considering all 3 of those teams have postseason aspirations. Some good players that you could maybe see if the Yankees get healthy by then. The Phillies side with Kyle Schwarber and that crew coming in as well.
And you can feel both the Yankees and the Phillies are going to do something here in the next few days to help themselves out. Bryce Harper's already asked them to do something.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Paredes. See your guy Donnie Baseball too when the Phillies are here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's all kinds of fond memories facing him.
Don Mattingly is the interim manager of the Phillies, though he has said he maybe would like to stick around if they would like him to. Maybe he can talk to their GM about it. It is his son.
Yeah. Yeah, that might help.
Preston Mattingly is the general manager, although Dave Dombrowski runs baseball operations there as the head honcho. Sometimes the GM is in charge. Sometimes there's a GM and then a president of baseball operations above him. Soft liner, and Paredes the first out here in the 9th inning.
I thought there was a real good chance the Veterans Committee getting him in the Hall of Fame this past offseason. Did not really get all that close.
It was.
I always say, just ask players that faced him if he's a Hall of Famer or not, and every one of them will say he's a Hall of Famer. Same thing with Lou Whitaker, too.
Yeah, well, Mattingly won 9 Gold Gloves, had that incredible peak where he went to the All-Star game 6 years in a row, and then the back problems, but still was productive. Retired fairly early. He said he could have played longer. Maybe that would have helped his Hall of Fame resume, but he said he was more interested in getting back home and not exactly prolonging his career when he wasn't at his best anymore. I'm sure went through a lot to even play in the mid-90s once that back started to go. Was it just the other day was beating the drum pretty hard for Don Mattingly to go into the Hall of Fame, and Keith Hernandez as well, those 2 New York first basemen of the 80s who combined won 20 Gold Gloves.
Yes.
Ken Rosenthal or someone was saying it. It was Bob Costas. That's who was saying it.
He's been around a lot of baseball games. He's in the Hall of Fame himself.
Yeah, well, Bob would know.
Yes.
Well, Costas was saying the other day that Mattingly and Hernandez both should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's absolutely right.
I agree.
Slow roller as Grissom catches up to it, spins, throws, and he gets Walker. No. Shonowell did not hang on to the ball at first. And it was all there except for the catch at first base. Grissom ranging, fielding, spinning, and throwing to get it there.
Another one in the outfield grass.
Well, hit right in the glove of Shonowell, and he just couldn't squeeze it.
Well, I think they got him there, too.
Well, base runner for Altuve as he looks at a strike. Well, that's ruled there at first because Grissom had a lot of effort to make, but then Shonowell really didn't. And they'll give Shonowell the arrow. Christian Walker, and probably asking Shonowell what that's like. Walker hasn't made an error all year at first base.
Still got to believe you're going to see that possibly getting changed somewhere down the road.
Altuve with a high fly deep to left center. Siri has some room near the track. 2 outs. Altuve 2 hits and a run scored today. 4 hits in the series. Angels will try to get some 9th inning revenge on the Astros with Siri, Heineman, and Neto due up. I guess we talked about Jorge Soler, Travis d'Arnaud, and Oswald Peraza, all potential bench options, all right-handed though. And it looks like no Hader tonight.
No, yeah.
He only threw 4 pitches yesterday, pitching in back-to-back games, and he also pitched back-to-back Friday and Saturday. And the Astros were in Chicago, so four times in 5 days, probably enough to ask.
Yes, especially when he had some injury earlier.
They need him. They'll need him this weekend against the Rangers, and they're very much alive in the postseason races. Here's a check swing ground ball. Guzman tries to get it to first, but Trammell has an infield hit.
Did about everything he could on that one. Mel running too well. Baseball was basically on the other side of the chalk line and rolled back in fair territory.
Yainer Diaz has had a good night. 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. He homered earlier.
Jump at batting average, probably over 300 in his career now versus the Angels. He came in swinging the bat exceptionally well at 293 in his career.
Pretty productive offensive catcher the last few years. 20 home runs last season, 23 in 2023, his rookie year. He's lost some playing time, certainly to Christian Vasquez this season. Diaz also spent some time on the injured list early in the year. An oblique strain that kept him out for close to 2 months.
He went on that one. Tried to jump a high fastball.
Balls 2 strikes on Diaz. Angels still without a win in their City Connects this year. Be 0-7 if they don't come back. Guzman with a nice play. Long throw across. Past Shotwell. And that rolls in the dugout. A run will come home. Walker is in. Trammell goes to third. Guzman hopped that throw across, and Shotwell couldn't stop it.
Shotwell, one of the best in baseball on the scoops.
Big insurance run now, 7-4. Will be a base hit for Diaz, his 4th tonight.
Skip on the grass and then skip quicker and got it by Shotwell on that one.
An error on Guzman that plates Walker and puts the other runners at second and third. Astros now with a 3-run cushion. The batter will be Cam Smith with a 2-run double earlier. It's 5 runs now for the Astros against the Angels bullpen tonight after Grayson Rodriguez left with the lead in this game.
Long throw across the diamond for Guzman. And a lot of times you will try to skip that across the diamond, but it stayed low and got it underneath the glove of Shotwell at first.
Ball 1 to Smith. Smith hitting just .205. Seems like there's still a lot of talent to squeeze out of this guy. And he's hitting a fly ball to right center here that Joe Adell camps under, and that ends the inning. But an unearned run for Houston to make it 7-4. By 3, trying to rally back here in the bottom of the 9th inning against Brian Abreu, who's looking for his 7th save. He's 6 for 6 in his save tries this year. He has 1 4-out save, which came on May 16th against the Rangers. Recorded the last out in the 8th inning, and he'll face Siri, Heineman, and Neto here in the bottom of the 9th. Nick Allen has entered the game to play second base in place of Altuve.
Well, it's a good fastball, but doesn't throw it a lot, though.
Not quite as good as it was. I don't know what happened to Abreu's velocity from last season to this one. They've gotten him to throw harder than he was early in the season. We saw some, what, 91s, 92s at the very beginning of the year. His velocity's back up from that. Slider's still pretty good. Oh, that's a hot one in the Astro booth.
Whoa.
JR, he got his papers all over.
Yes. That was a rocket.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Siri. Tomahawks a grounder to Paredes at third, and that's 1 out.
Paredes has made a lot of good plays in this series. He's really turned into a solid defender at third base.
Good player overall. Isaac Paredes. Hermosillo, Mexico. A really good year a few years ago when he was with the Rays at 31 home runs.
A lot of pull home runs, that's for sure.
Every single one of his home runs has been pulled in his big league career. Heineman unable to hold his swing. Paredes missed a lot of time last year at hamstring injury. Most of the second half, at least. No balls, 2 strikes on Heineman. Astros want to have Carlos Correa over on the left side of the infield at any point the rest of the year, so Paredes can settle in at third base with Correa out. One ball, 2 strikes on Heineman. There was a base hit tonight. Angels will play the Brewers Friday night, 6:30. Ryan Johnson against left-hander Shane Drowan. A very good Milwaukee club will be here this weekend. 67-41 on the year. Chop to Walker, an easy play for the Gold Glove first baseman. 2 outs. Brewers have a 6-game lead in the NL Central over the Cubs. Both lost today. We'll see Mizorowski here Sunday afternoon, which should be an interesting watch against Walbert Urania.
Yeah. 2 young pitchers with tremendous fastballs.
Neto with a walk and a run scored. Angels came hot out of the gate tonight, scored 3 in the first, but they've only managed 1 run since then. Another lead that got away along the way tonight.
Seeing a lot of breakables of late.
Made some contact on that one to stay alive. Still 0-2. Big news of the day was Logan O'Hoppe and Chase Silseth being traded to the Texas Rangers. See what other trades are on the horizon for the Angels before Monday's trade deadline. Fly to right hit pretty well. And Smith has enough to grab that and give the Astros a 7-4 win and a sweep here at Angel Stadium.
And now they look up the Astros back to 500 before they take on the Texas Rangers now.
That'll be a big series for them this weekend. So we show you our Toyota player of the game, Hayden Wesneski, the winning pitcher in his first game back from Tommy John surgery.
Such a long time ago on the mound, but he was really solid after navigating his way through that first inning. Got that double play against Guzman, but after that was really, really good.
The Angels lose all 3 against the Astros. We'll be back to wrap it up. Seven 4 the final at Angel Stadium tonight. Houston takes all 3 in this series. Angels are back against the Brewers on Friday night. Our coverage will start at 6 o'clock. Coming up next, Angels Live postgame presented by Kia with Ken French and Tim Salmon. For Gooby and Erica, I'm Wayne Randazzo saying goodnight from Angel Stadium.